All right, let's talk about Morocco. Planning a trip there can feel, well, a little overwhelming, right? You've got these incredible ancient cities, massive deserts, epic mountains. I mean, where do you even begin?
Well, the best place to start is actually by asking yourself a simple question. What's your Morocco style? Seriously, are you someone who wants a whirlwind tour of all the big highlights, or are you looking for an adrenaline-fueled adventure? Maybe you're after a slow, deep dive into the culture. That's exactly what we're going to help you figure out right now. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start by looking at how to choose your adventure. Then, we're going to break down 3 totally different itineraries: the 7-day first-timer, the 10-day adventurer, and the 14-day culture lover. And to wrap it all up, we'll give you a super practical travel toolkit to get you on your way. So, this chart gives you a really nice snapshot, right? You can see the trade-offs immediately. The 7-day trip, it's fast, and it's all about hitting those iconic highlights. Bump it up to 10 days, and you're looking at a pretty challenging outdoor adventure. And if you've got a full 2 weeks, you can take a more relaxed, deep dive into the culture. So, let's explore what each of these actually feels like on the ground. First up, we've got the 7-day first-timer. We're calling this one an iconic whirlwind for a reason. This is for anyone who's short on time but has some pretty big ambitions. So this is for you if you want to experience a little bit of everything. You want to haggle for spices in the bustling open-air markets, the souks of Marrakesh. You want to see that absolutely incredible Hassan II Mosque. And yeah, of course, you want to ride a camel into the Sahara for that perfect sunset picture. It is nonstop for sure, but man, is it rewarding. The itinerary itself has this amazing flow. You go from the city to the mountains to the desert. You'll kick things off in Marrakesh, just diving headfirst into the energy of Jema El Fana Square. From there, you escape to the Atlas Mountains for a beautiful hike through traditional Berber villages. And then, for what's probably the main event for a lot of people, a camel ride into the Erg Shebi Dunes for a night under a sky full of stars. You'll wrap up the trip in Casablanca with a visit to that magnificent Hassan II Mosque. Now, along this route, you're going to see a really key piece of Moroccan architecture, the Qasar. And what is a Qasar? Well, it's basically a fortified village made entirely of earth and clay. Ait Ben Haidou is the most famous one. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's this perfect example of pre-Saharan design. And I guarantee you've probably seen it before. It's been the backdrop in countless Hollywood movies. All right, let's switch gears. If 7 days of sightseeing sounds just a little too tame for you, then you might just be the 10-day adventurer. This itinerary is something else. It takes you from the country's highest peaks all the way to its wild Atlantic coast. This trip is for the person who doesn't just want to see the landscape, they want to conquer it. We're talking about seeking that adrenaline rush, through trekking, climbing, and even water sports. It's definitely physically demanding, but the payoff is some of the most spectacular views and experiences Morocco has to offer. This whole journey is just pure action. You'll start by getting used to the altitude in the mountain village of Imlil before you tackle the summit of Mount Toubkal. Then it's off to the Sahara for a proper desert trek. Next up, you'll hike through the Todur Gorge. It's this stunning red rock canyon that's a total magnet for rock climbers. And finally, you'll finish with a coastal escape to the breezy port town of Essaouira for some well-earned relaxation and maybe some kite surfing and fresh seafood. And just to give you a sense of scale here, when we say conquering the high Atlas, we mean summiting Mount Toubkal, which stands at an impressive 4,167 meters. To put that in perspective, that is the highest peak in all of North Africa. No small feat. And finally, for those who have a little more time and a lot more curiosity, we have our third style, the 14-day culture lover. And trust me, this isn't just a trip, it's a deep dive right into the soul of the country. This itinerary is really for the curious soul, the traveler who wants to understand the history, the art, the traditions of Morocco. You're not just passing through cities, you're lingering, you're exploring ancient Roman ruins, getting lost in those famous blue-painted alleyways, and maybe even taking a cooking class to bring the flavors home with you. So this more leisurely journey starts with the imperial cities like Rabat and Meknes, plus a visit to the absolutely incredible Roman ruins at Volubilis. From there, it's an escape to the world-famous Blue City, Chefchaouen. Next, you'll explore the cultural heart of Fez, discovering its ancient walled city, the Medina, and the famous Chowra tanneries. The trip then culminates in Marrakech with visits to the beautiful Majorelle Garden and the Yves Saint Laurent Museum. You know, what makes Fez so incredibly special is its immense historical significance. It's home to the University of Al-Qarawiyyin, which was founded way back in 859 AD. And get this, UNESCO recognizes it as the oldest, continually operating university in the entire world. That's a true highlight for any cultural lover. But Moroccan culture has also made its mark on modern pop culture too. On this route, you can visit a place called Ouarzazate, which is home to the Atlas Film Studios. It's known as the Hollywood of Morocco, and it has served as the backdrop for everything from Gladiator to Game of Thrones.
Okay, so hopefully by now you've started to identify with one of these travel styles. The big question is, how do you turn that idea into a reality? Well, let's get you set up with your Morocco travel toolkit.
First things first, when should you go? The absolute sweet spots are spring. That's March to May, when all the landscapes are blooming. And fall, from September to November. Both seasons have that really pleasant, comfortable weather that's just perfect for exploring cities and trekking in the mountains.
All right, let's talk money. How much should you budget? Well, a backpacker can totally get by on about $50 a day. If you're looking for a more mid-range trip, you should probably plan for around $100 a day. That lets you stay in those beautiful traditional courtyard homes called riads. And for luxury, think $200 and up for 5-star hotels and private cars.
And finally, just a few essential tips to keep in mind. For getting around, you have a mix of everything. Trains, buses, and share taxis are all great. For solo travelers, you should note the major cities and desert tours are generally very safe and accessible. And for relaxation, please, do not leave without experiencing a traditional hammam or spa. It's the absolute perfect way to unwind.
So let's bring it all back home. Which traveler are you? Are you the first-timer, hungry for that fast-paced taste of Morocco's iconic sights? Or are you the culture lover who prefers a much slower, more immersive journey through history?
Look, we've laid out 3 totally different paths, and each one offers a unique way to experience this captivating country. You've got the iconic whirlwind, the adrenaline-fueled quest, or the deep cultural dive. So the only question left is, which Moroccan story will you write?